Hey guys, Al here. Um, Want to highlight, so I'm in a really small little food plot. Um, just been treating more grapevine. I think I'm about done with this area. I've had to have got at least 90+%. I mean, I feel really good. I see some in the background still, but I know I cut that. So feeling good about it. Gonna put the backpack sprayer on tomorrow and treat the tree of heaven and as much of the multiflora rose as I can. And hopefully I will pass the test when they come out and look and make sure that I'm following my equip program. But what I wanted to show or highlight just real quickly is this little field has been demolished. You can probably see that in the background there, that exclusion fence. So when I first come in here and look around, it's really disappointing. It's like, oh my gosh, it's just all, there's ryegrass in here, just probably because of the vicinity to an actual yard. This is not that far off our yard here. Over the years, there's an oil pump in here that guys' tires probably have brought it in. So it's not, doesn't look really great to the human eye. But what I want to highlight is some of the small victories. So actually, don't worry about your food plots looking like the cover of a magazine, especially this time of year. If you just get down, so you'll see here by my hand, like you can see that's hairy veg, right? You see more hairy veg, rye grain, clovers are popping up all over in here. Here's another white clover. So the reason I highlight that is not all is lost here. I actually, I'll show you. Hopefully you guys see that in the camera. That is a little brassica that somehow the deer didn't get that particular one, and it's still there, and it probably has a deep tap root, so it's feeding the soil and all the good things that we want to have happen. So don't get discouraged, especially on these small food plots. I'm not going to till this, so what I will simply do is I'm going to come in here probably mid-May. I will hopefully have this will be about knee high. It'll have broadleaf weeds in here. It'll have some of that grass seed. But that's okay. I'm not overly concerned about it, because what I'm going to do is I will come in here with a heavy load of buckwheat, red clover, as well as springtime oats. So I'd like to get more diverse, but this year I just have too much going on with my personal life, baby on the way, etc. So what I am going to do is go in here with buckwheat. On these smaller plots, I'm not going to do sunflower. So buckwheat, spring oats, and red clover. Now I also overseeded these smaller plots with a white Ladino mix that I had. So did that a couple weeks ago. That should be taken off here, starting to suppress some of the weeds. I'll come in, I'll spread right into the standing thatch, and I'm going to bush hog just the top. It's about as high as the bush hog will go on the back of the tractor. And I'll bush hog this down and just let that thatch sit. Let it start to break up, etc. Then, when I come in the fall to plant this little food plot, I'm going to go heavier on the rye because it is smaller, something that can take a little bit more browse. Clover as well. And I probably will use a non-select herbicide like glyphosate and just do a no-till spread, spray glyphosate into the thatch, and then pray for rain. And I've done that in a couple of areas for a few years with really good success. And that's most likely what I'll do again this year. So tip here, don't get discouraged. Get down on your hands and knees, get your hands into the soil, and really see what's going on, because it's not always as bad as it looks, even if the deer pressure is bad. And there's things that you can do to combat weeds without having to just continuously spray things, because it's expensive, it's really time consuming, and in my experience, honestly, it's very time consuming for what you get out of it. I've had some really beautiful clover stands, but honestly, I've just primarily had that just by mowing. I mean, mowing is almost easier than having to spend the money on spray and handling chemical spray and, making sure it's not too windy and the temperature's correct and all those things. So in here, not all is lost. Good things are happening. A lot of rye grains popping up. Unfortunately, there's some grass too, just part of the game here. I'll keep working on this soil. I'll keep trying to build this soil up. And I suspect, without tilling for multiple years in a row and going through this diverse mix and continuing to do those things, I will start to see soil being built here and less weed seed with that mix. Eventually I'll get to a point where I'm crimping this over and then still using probably a little bit of herbicide. I'm not anti-herbicide at all, I just think you need to be careful about how much you're using, and make sure you read those labels. So get outside, guys. Be safe. Get your hands dirty, and build better soil.